I hated this guy. Imagine having to parent with this fucking man child as your fucking
Hey
husband. I just, ugh. Anyways, what you,
everybody, welcome to Out the Trunk with Jordan and Darius. My name is Jordan. You can find me on all socials at Jordy B Writing.
and I'm Darius. That's D's all up in your area on all socials.
And this is our movie review segment. We're going to be reviewing Mrs. Doubtfire. This movie came out in 1993, starring the late great Robin
Were
Williams.
you
Rest in
born in
peace.
1993?
I was born in 92.
Okay, all right. It's that time in. Just making sure. This is our first movie where you were not born in, so it's not.
um, what was it? Yeah, the late great Robin Williams, R.I.P. to a legend.
R.I.P.
Sally Field, Pierce Brosnan, who was a really good 007, Harvey Feinstein, Lisa Jacob, Matthew Lawrence, and Mara Wilson. This movie's about Robin Williams' character. He's after a difficult divorce. A loving but irresponsible father loses access to his children. Desperate to be near them, he undergoes a total physical transformation, adopting the guise of an elderly, prim British nanny to secure a job in his ex-wife's home. So I'm gonna toss it to you for Act One.
Act one, we're going to call the divorce and desperation. The father, Robin Williams, is devastated after losing custody of his children. Learning his ex-wife needs a housekeeper, he secretly creates a completely new identity and is hired for the job. Let me say off the bat, first scene, nothing dates a movie faster than seeing smoking indoors. Um,
Oh, right.
it's like seeing a payphone. I'm like, whoa, what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like a hate crime nowadays.
I it is impossible to explain to someone, I would say 25 and under, just how ubiquitous
Yeah.
cigarette smoke used to be. Um, and just how it's honestly an example of how government regulation can work. We've pretty much completely
Mm.
removed cigarette smoke from public spaces in a matter of
Yeah,
what,
which
20
is a good
years.
thing. Yeah.
It existed for 100 plus years, and in 20 years of laws and enforcement and regulation, we have made it so you can breathe in a restaurant again.
Yep.
So anyways, shout out to government, good government. But yes, stop. Not only were there like it used to be the case that when you booked a hotel room, you had to specify
You had to say
non-smoking.
non-smoking. Yeah. You
When's
went
the
to a
last
restaurant,
time you were even
non-smoking
asked
section,
smoking or
please.
non-smoking anything?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's a good point. Um,
it's just
even
weird
your
to
point
just
about
see
the
everyone smoking inside. So,
right. Even your point about the payphone. I remember one time my aunt like texted us and she was like they were on vacation somewhere and my little cousins had never seen a payphone before and they saw one and she was like they were so or it was maybe it was either the payphone or a phone booth and she was like they were like they thought it was like a time machine or something like
yeah,
they thought it was like the coolest thing ever because they had never seen one.
yeah. My niece didn't know what an actual like CD-ROM floppy disk thing was.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
she was just like, I was like, well, that was thumb drives before we had them. USB
Yeah.
drives, like, and it was like 5 megabytes,
Hmm.
which I don't even think is like 10 pictures now. It was storage used to
No.
be very expensive.
It's like
So
one report and that's it.
yeah, pretty much. Um,
um no, go ahead.
what you got for Act One?
Yes, I wanted to say, one, I love this movie. I love movies that use city like the backdrops of cities, like as a character in the movie. And I
Yep.
think um San Francisco is a beautiful city. My mom goes there a lot for work, travels there a lot for work. She loves it there. And I miss when movies it's kind of a throwback in a way because movies nowadays, everything's like on a set with a green screen and shit. Like nothing's outside or on location anymore. So I think it's really dope to see a movie where you can see that they're actually there at the city that they're supposed to be in.
And it's San Francisco pre-tech boom, so these homes were
Hmm.
like with regular people live. Those are multi-million dollar homes now,
Right.
but they exist where like with regular working class people used to be able to afford those before Google and Facebook and Amazon's in Seattle, but all of
Right.
Silicon Valley moved in, so
Correct.
it was yeah it did feel lived in a way that you don't see very often. Let me just say, man. Robin Williams' character was such a fucking loser. I hated this guy. You don't get to chase dreams when you bring children into this world.
Yeah.
Your responsibility is to make sure that they are cared for. And they didn't ask to be here. You brought them here.
Mhm.
You don't get to chase dreams when you have children to take care of, and you're not taking care of your children. You're bouncing from job to job, and you're doing these voiceovers and whatever.
Yeah.
Um, I
which
just
is good money. I don't know why he fucked that job up.
Yeah, the opening scene is him quitting a job because he's some idiot. You know, oh my God, my boss is mean. They make me do something I don't want to do. Like, okay, but like you have children. Like you don't.
Right.
I hated this guy. Imagine imagine having to parent with this fucking man child as your fucking husband. I just ugh. Anyways, what you got for Act One?
Um, yeah, a couple things I want to say for Act One. So obviously we talked about obviously Robin Williams, passing him being a legend, all that. This movie is a testament to his like I don't know if you how much the viewers maybe who don't know, he's like legendary for his improvisational abilities, and a lot of the classic scenes and moments in this movie were not in the script.
Okay.
Um, I watched a lot of interviews where I actually saw an interview with the kids from the movie who are obviously grown up now, and they were saying like we would do like 40, 50 takes because he never did the same thing twice ever. Um, and I think that's really dope. I love when actors are given the freedom to just kind of create and play and stuff like that in movies, and the directors are not so much of an egomaniac where they will keep those takes. So I wanted to shout out him for that. Also, pretty much everybody who's ever worked with Robin Williams has like a story of him just being unfailing kind and looking out for them without them knowing in a way. Like the oldest daughter in the movie, she was in high school and she missed a lot of school, obviously, to shoot the movie. And her school was like, "Yeah, when you come back, we're gonna actually expel you because you missed so much time." And he handwrote a letter to the principal of the school and was like, "Hey, like, can you not?" Um, the school actually framed the letter and put it in the principal's office and still expelled her anyway, which is kind of a dick move, but um, just testament to his character as a person. Yeah.
The school made the right decision. You weren't in school.
Well,
I
no,
don't
no,
care if you were
they have
climbing
school on
Mount
set.
Tibet, but that's
Well, so
not
they have school on set. They had to do 3 hours a day, but because she's in Canada, they I guess their rules are maybe a little different. I don't know.
as an
But
administrator of the school, I signed this paper saying you completed the coursework and you graduate when you didn't. No.
well, I mean, I don't know how it all worked, but
I don't
yeah.
care. I'm not. I don't. Wherever you were, that's fine. That's between you and your
Yeah.
parents. We'll go get your coursework from wherever you
Well,
were. But you weren't in my school under my care, so no, I can't
mhm.
say that you graduated when you. I don't know
Well, it
what you
wasn't
were
for
doing in
graduation.
Canada.
They just like didn't let her go back to school after she finished the movie, which I think is kind of crazy. But and even Ethan Hawke, who was in Dead Poet Society with Robin Williams when he was a young actor, Robin actually gave him his agent,
Yeah.
who I think he might have said he still has or had for a long time after that. So just want to shout out Robin Williams. Gone too soon, and he's one of my favorite entertainers ever. So I wanted to give him his flowers.
Likewise. Obviously gone way too soon under tragic circumstances, and
Yeah,
the stories about his kindness and generosity are boundless.
yeah.
So. For sure. I'm just saying, in defense of that school administrator, okay, you have a letter from Robin Williams. That's great. Did you pass the class? I'm sure he's a great guy.
Yeah.
I will certainly keep this near and dear to my heart, but you weren't here. I don't know what you were doing.
I mean, they knew she was on set. It wasn't like she was playing hooky.
Okay.
But yeah, as also wanted to shout out the director of this movie, Chris Columbus. He wrote Gremlins. He also wrote a couple other big 80s movies. He was kind of a steward of John Hughes, who wrote like and who directed 16 Candles and Breakfast Club and all those classic 80s movies. He also, Chris Columbus, directed the first two Harry Potter movies. So I will always have love for him just for that alone. And he did the first two Home Alones as well. So shout out him, also another legend. Um,
Home Alone's good movies.
yes, great movies.
Prime example of a
Um,
90s movie that would be ruined if everyone had cell phones.
if everyone had phones.
Yeah,
Yep.
the whole premise falls apart. So,
Yep. Hey Ma, you forgot me. The end.
yeah, oh shit. You got to Uber to the airport? Yeah, yeah, sure. I'll send you the Venmo. Movie over.
Right. Let's book you a quick flight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyways, what you got for Act One?
it's funny because watching this movie as a kid versus watching it as an adult, it is such a different experience
I have
because
that note here.
when I was a kid, I was like, I mean, I definitely have more empathy for the mother now as an adult because he was able to quit those jobs because she was so stable in her job, and she had to be so serious because he was so unserious and lackadaisical. Um, I mean, I have issues with some of the things she did throughout the movie, which I'll get to later. But yeah, definitely like as a kid, I was like, I don't, why are you divorcing him for throwing a party?
Imagine getting off of work, you at work pitching some big client, and then your
Yeah,
assistant calls you in the room, is like, "Hey, the cops are at
there's
your
an
house," and you get
emergency.
home and there's fucking barn animals in your living room. Um, my other
Yeah.
favorite thing, and this is jumping around a little bit, like later she divorces the loser, and like she this is way later in the movie, but like she comes
Yeah.
over, he's visitation, and he's like he cooked spaghetti, and she's just like, "Oh
Mhm.
my God, he's so grown up." 40 something year old man with three children, and he makes a pot of
Yeah, he definitely needed
spaghetti,
to grow up.
and everyone's just like, "Oh man, look at all this maturity." We like
Right.
the violin started playing, and it was like, "Oh," it's like, you gotta be fucking
Yeah.
kidding me. It's the first time he's
That's
ever cooked for his children, and it
and
took a
that's just a
divorce.
testament to Robin Williams' charisma because like you're right, he was a loser as a father. And the fact that you just root from the whole movie and you're like, that bitch wanted to take his kids from him.
Yeah. He's in court, like, I just need my kids. And the judge is like, well, get a job, dude. Like, what are you talking about? You live in a fucking barn and you're unemployed. And I'm supposed to take them
Yeah.
out of their stable home with the wife that makes all the money and has the house.
Hmm.
And okay.
Yeah.
Question for you for Act One. Let's get back on track. Would audiences be able to suspend belief enough if the movie was released today? Because it requires quite a bit of a suspension of belief.
Right. If it came out today, would audience be able to? No. Yeah, I'd say no. Because like who do you know that's gonna can do makeup and shit for you
Yeah.
like that? Like, you know what I mean? That's
It would
step
almost have to be
one.
an animated movie to pass.
Yeah, 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 I think so.
Or just so over the top silly like a Medea type movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say yeah, like a Flubber or
Yeah.
shit, like the Clumps or something
Yeah.
like that.
It's
Nutty
just
Professor type shit.
the the audience would have to be in on the joke in a way that this movie was
Was
serious. Like,
serious.
yeah, it
Yeah.
wasn't you're supposed to believe that he was convincingly tricking these people.
Right.
And you do. At least at the time. And now I'm like this guy clearly
It's
has
clearly him. It looks like him.
but like, I mean, the 90s was everyone's a bit more cut off. It was less connected. So you could actually
Right.
believe that. First of all, it wasn't like a man wearing makeup and a dress was like not as socially acceptable as it is now. So the idea that
Right.
he would do this for his children and someone would think it
It
was a
speaks
man
to
in a
the
dress,
desperation. Yeah.
correct. And like you wouldn't even it would never occur to you that a man would be in that dress because it's
Right.
1993. Whereas now,
Correct.
if you saw a man in a dress out at a bowling alley, it would be unremarkable.
Yeah, you'd
You
be
might
like,
make you might
okay,
remark
you
at it, but it
right,
would
but
not
you
be
would be
like
you'd be focused on like I want to make sure I get their pronouns right, as opposed to being shocked by the sight of it.
correct. You would fumble through the right things to say, but you would not
Right.
be like completely blown away at the fact that it exists. So,
Correct. Yeah.
um,
That's a good point. Um, so I did want to ask you, obviously, so she comes home and she's mad and they're having the argument and she says like, I get a cake and buy some gifts or whatever she had bought for her son and you throw a party. And she's like, I say this and you do that. And I don't mean, and she wasn't highlighting that he was undermining her, which he was. I felt like she almost was saying that she felt like she was in competition with him for the kid's affection. And so I wanted to ask you, did you get that sense as well as to because there was a lot of animosity she had for him, justifiably so, but I think some of it was competition as well, for the
yeah, I
kids'
mean,
kind of admiration.
kids don't like vegetables. And no one likes the parent
Right.
that makes you eat vegetables. Everyone likes the parent that throws a party and doesn't care about your grades. It doesn't make sure that you just live off of
Brush
junk
your teeth
food.
and floss and
Yeah, and
yeah.
says witty characters for a living. And well, yeah, it's easy to be fun when you don't have a job that stresses you out because you just quit because it's annoying and you just get to come home and throw
Yeah.
parties with you don't have to worry about who's paying the mortgage, and you just get to read funny characters, and the kids love you because they don't have to balance a checkbook. They don't
Right.
they don't have a boss at work. They don't have to deal with the police outside because you violated several statutes with barn animals.
City ordinances.
Yeah. But what I've noticed with parents like that though is that as the kids grow and they mature, they begin to resent the parent that never set boundaries.
Yeah,
And the parent that the grown-up parent, they start to see it from their view more.
right.
Because kids want structure, kids want structure, kids want boundaries, kids want rules. And they just don't know they want it until, you know, it's too late. You know?
Right, or until
So
they don't have it,
right. And like I said, man, he had the easiest job in the world, which was just Chuck E. Cheese. So Chuck E. Cheese? Hey,
Yeah,
sure.
let's go to Chuck E.
Hey,
Cheese. Yeah.
anyone can be a great parent when your only job is to take them to Chuck E. Cheese, you know? Like, so
Right.
yeah, but she certainly
Um,
felt in competition with him because she's, it's a little bit in a way it's a little bit like politics, right?
mhm,
You know, voters vote for Republicans when they want to go to dad's house for a weekend and eat candy and shoot guns and drive real fast and
right.
say bad words on a podcast and da 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 da.
Mhm.
But Monday comes around and time to vote. Like it's chaos
Yeah,
and
you
nothing.
need you need public parking that's free, so you
Yeah,
need to pay your
you want
taxes,
to go to the
and
doctor, you want to go to school, you
you
want
need that insurance
safety.
that's
You
provided to you by
miss
the Affordable Care Act.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They vote for Democrats when they want a mom, when they want someone
yeah.
to make sure they eat their vegetables, when they make sure they can go to the doctor, make sure that their school works in line.
Hmm.
And that's the yin and the yang of politics is that, and that you
Yeah.
you see that in this household where it's like the kids are voting for the Republican dad right now because he lets them go camping on weekends and shoot guns and eat
Hmm.
candy and throw parties. But sooner or later, they're gonna be like, okay, but like my stomach hurts. Can you take me to the doctor?
Yeah.
He's gonna be like, oh, doctor, you don't have no money. Like,
I ain't got no
uh,
doctor money.
yeah, well, I'm just here to have fun, free markets.
Yeah, that's
What
true.
you got anything else for recommend?
Um, yeah, so there's a scene where she comes to his house for the first time, and she picks up the kids, and he said she got there, dropped them off an hour late, and she's there to pick them up an hour early. Did you feel like she was being petty doing that, or were you on her side when she was doing that?
Nah,
When she did that?
that I was not on her side with because
Yeah.
the rules are the rules. They are his children.
Right.
And do I think she was being intentionally petty? No, I just think that she didn't value his time as a parent at all because
Right.
he was her fourth child. She
Hmm.
didn't see him as a co-parent. So like the idea that
Yeah.
his time with his children would be valuable to her was just not something that ever occurred in her mind.
Right.
And so she's thinking like, why do you want more time? Don't you want to go do something child like this is
Hmm.
responsibility. You don't want that, So
Yeah.
I just don't think she ever took him serious, nor should she have,
No, she
because he didn't
didn't.
take himself serious. So
True.
you know, but
Well, that's my only thing with one of my issues with her was because it's like, okay, well, unless this guy drastically changed and turned into class clown, he was this when you married him. So how much of this did you sign up for? And now you're just mad that someone gave you the pen.
you know, um, yeah, I see that often. Like there was this story about this this thread on one of those sites where the guy was
Hmm.
like the women were like, my husband eats up all of my leftovers and he's not considerate and da 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 da. And every time I read that, I'm like, it's just hard for me to believe that there was
He
like you got
changed.
married and then a month later he just became this inconsiderate. Like it's hard.
Right.
People don't hide it for that long. She probably
No.
thought he was fun and he was
Hmm.
funny and I'm sure he was a blast to date before the kids came around. He's always on these
Right.
adventures and so on and so forth. And that's why you don't select you have to obviously there should be some passion and some fun involved in all that, but that
For
stuff
sure.
fades and you need to have solid underlying fundamentals when you're selecting a life partner because,
Yeah.
you just can't always select for fun. So, no, I mean, I disagree with her the way she handled the visitation. She was inappropriate for that, but
Yeah, I hated that.
that's about the only time I sided with him over her. So, you want to get into act two?
Yeah.
Our Act Two, the double life and the competition. Living his dual life, the disguised father connects with his children while learning essential life skills. A new relationship in his ex-wife's life causes complications and jealousy. For the audience, if you're one of the five people on Earth who hasn't seen this movie yet, the wife needs a nanny for the kids because obviously her fourth child moved out, and he decides to dress up as the nanny so he could spend time with his children while a noble pursuit. This is now I'm editorializing. But what an insane invasion of privacy and a violation of trust.
Yeah, he was tripping. He was tripping.
Like,
Honestly, I didn't realize how much of a violation of privacy it was until watching it today and
yeah,
yesterday. Because like I was like, yo, they had really personal intimate
yeah,
conversations as like friends
yeah. She's talking
that
about
he
her
was
sex
posting
life
it.
and all kinds of shit.
Yeah. As a kid, you just didn't really it didn't register with me like that, watching the movie. Um and you're just, yeah, no, that actually was crazy. I think that's the thing she was most pissed about when she found out. Oh, I mean, that's Act 3. We'll go to that later. But um yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah.
And he's using the Catwoman costume to like be the parent, the hard parent he couldn't be to the
Yeah.
children. And
Hmm.
God, this guy is just a piece of work, man. He just like be a fucking man. Put on your if your kids need a stern hand and some discipline,
Hmm.
as a man, provide that. Don't dress up in a costume to pretend
And
to
then
be
be the
someone
bad guy.
else to make them do their
Right.
homework. You're just he's just a pathetic excuse of a man. Just a disgusting, pathetic excuse of a man. But I will say I laughed at the social worker scene with the cream falling in the coffee. That was actually quite funny.
Oh, it was not one of the things that was not in the script.
It
So
wasn't?
I read apparently the mask was real or was in
Okay.
the script, but the melting part was not. So the heat lights for the camera were so hot that it was just melting off, and so that just actually happened. And he just rolled with it and was like, "Oh, well, look, three lumps."
That's funny because I was like,
Yeah.
that is disgusting. Like, that's the one scene where I'm like, it's tough for me to suspend belief here. Like, she really doesn't know anything's up. Like,
Right.
she never sees them in the same room together. This sister
Right.
is 40 years older than him. And
Yeah.
like, he's literally like in scene and he leaves and he changes and he comes
Leaves
back.
and
And I'm just like,
it's like Superman and shit. Like, well, Clark, where'd you go?
yeah, like you're straining credulity here. But I stuck
Yeah.
with it. I laughed really, really hard at that scene, man.
No, I actually forgot how funny this movie was. Robin Williams is the fucking goat, man. Um, Also, like that's one of my favorite gifs to use of all time is where he pops his head up with the cake face.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. And then the mask falls off of the thing,
Oh, and the
and
truck runs over it.
the kids are yeah. That was hysterical.
Yeah.
Also a little weird. Talking about invasion of privacy. Why is the court like assigning him a babysitter to like check in on
That
his
was
home?
crazy.
He wasn't
Yeah.
a
Beating
danger
them or
to the
abusing
children.
them.
Like, he wasn't
Yeah.
abusive. He just was a loser.
Yeah. And I think that was my biggest issue with the wife because like you letting them think all this crazy shit about him and you know that man was not a danger to those kids.
Not a danger, no, but
Yeah.
kid,
Like if you were to say negligent, I'd maybe hear you out, but he was not a danger to those kids.
no, but like the first meal he ever cooked for them was
Chinese
like,
takeout.
um, that spaghetti. Like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
I
think
get it.
that.
Yeah,
I don't think
that's actually crazy that you're
the.
40 and can't cook.
I don't think that the parent that. I don't think it's fair to her that he gets to be the fun parent. So I think it's totally
I agree. I
fair
agree.
that she can be honest about him to her children. Like, this is not. Don't lie. Don't say that he's something that he's not, but
Yeah,
don't lie the other way either. Don't sugarcoat it, you know?
I get that. I'm just not in favor of when parents do the whole shit talking one the other parent to the kids. I just don't think that's ever good. Um,
No, it's
and also
not.
again, kids grow up and they see like eventually kids will realize, okay, maybe both were wrong, or okay, this parent was actually the problem and we thought it was this parent the whole time, stuff like that.
So I see you have some level of empathy for him. May I ask why?
I mean, I don't. I mean, I think I just love the movie and love Robin Williams so much.
Okay.
I think he just did such a good job of, I guess, because he wasn't, malicious, and it wasn't. I don't think that he was set out to make her like. I feel like okay, in Crooklyn, like the dad Woody sucked, right?
Yes.
But he was kind of. I feel like he was kind of out to make her to be the bad guy. You know what I mean? Because he wouldn't work and he wouldn't play music to make money. I don't. I just in this situation, I don't think that he set out to do the things that were hurting his family. I
Um,
guess, but
I think it was a prime example of what people like to call is what weaponized incompetence. It's when husbands
fair. Okay,
pretend like they're incompetent because they know their
yeah,
wives will just get sick of it and just do it.
that's a good point.
And you are not
I
incapable
mean, he
of
definitely needed to grow up for sure.
understatement of the year. Like you're not incapable of you quit your job and you leave early and you pick up
No,
the
that was
kids from
insane.
school and then you
That
throw a
was crazy.
party and then oh, but I love my kids. It's okay. But you're not their friend, you're their parent.
Right.
And he weaponized his incompetence in ways that made her look like the bitch to the kids. And
That's
that's just
true.
a heavy
Yeah.
burden to carry. He's selfish
No,
as all
100%.
he's selfish as all everything he does is
Yeah, he was very
prioritizing
selfish.
what he
He was
wants.
very selfish.
I mean, I can't remember a time watching the movie where he put someone else's needs before his own. I just I
Hmm.
can sit I can't recall. I mean,
Yeah.
you just I hated his
So,
character.
so let me ask you this then. So do you think Mrs. Doubtfire forced him to adapt, or do you think that was in him all along?
I think it was in him all along. It's just he never had to use it because well, I guess
Yeah.
that by definition that means it's forcing him to adapt. So yeah, I mean
Hmm.
people change. But just to me it's unbecoming of a man that it took all of this.
No, I agree 100%. Yeah.
You had to
It shouldn't
lose
have.
everything and get divorced and
Right.
lose visitation of your kids to grow up.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
you
this
know,
wasn't insecure where like people say like oh she that was part of his character development, he needed that arc
yeah.
to motivate himself, so on and so forth. This was not that.
Also,
And I
man,
think
you
that
got
that argument is bullshit, but this was not that.
but furthermore, man, you got children now.
Yeah.
Lawrence ain't had no kids.
You can't quit your
Well,
job and just
until he fifth season, but you know what I mean.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
when you have children, it's not about you anymore.
Right.
It's it's just not. You don't get to prioritize your needs when you
Yeah.
make decisions when you have children. That's not to say that you always have to be on the back burner,
Hmm.
but time to grow up and grow up fast when them kids start showing up. I just don't have a lot of
Yeah, bro, you
sympathy
got to get your
for
shit together or
I just
have
don't
your
have
shit
a
together.
still have a lot of sympathy for it when these kids are depending on you and you're just not showing up for them or not giving them what they need. You're giving them candy and every kid wants candy, but you're not giving them the
When
tools they
they have
need to
no
be
teeth.
productive adults, right?
Yeah.
Anything else for Act Two?
Um, yeah, one I just love how uh one thing he was going to do was openly hate on Stu,
Yeah,
the new boyfriend,
yeah.
where he'd just be like, "Oh, are you overcompensating?" or "Damn, your skin's fucked up," or throwing the orange at him at the pool.
I'm Team Stu. Yeah.
No, I get you. I get it.
Like,
Yeah.
he- uh,
He was the father that they should have had.
yeah, he's an adult.
Yeah.
Robin Williams was just another, he was a fourth child. And
Hmm.
so when he's at the drink place and ordering the iced
Hmm.
teas and he's just like dismissing he's just like the guy is just a loser. And it's just like I felt
Yeah.
that in my soul. Like this beautiful woman with three great kids was just wasting her time with this complete utter waste of human space. It's just like it's just a gross, pathetic excuse of a man. And I felt his disgust when he said that at the
No,
bar.
yeah, he was very
It's just
disgusted. Yeah.
like he
Um,
wasn't playing Captain
yeah.
Save-A-Ho or nothing. He just was just like
Nah.
to be that grown and to have three children in this world and to
And not be working and
just have no
not
obligation,
know how to
just
cook, have no
to have
life
no sense of
skills.
duty to them. To know
Right.
to know
Yeah.
no sense of duty to your role as a provider, as a protector, as someone to shepherd
Yeah.
these children into adulthood. I just found it to be distasteful.
Yeah.
Team Stew.
Um, so I want to ask you, what did you think about the conversation that Mrs. Doubtfire had with Sally Field's character about like what actually happened in their marriage?
When
Where
she
she was
said
like
that,
saying,
go ahead, sorry.
where she was kind of like, I- at first I was, cool with the fun. Then she kind of was like, well, then I was serious enough for everybody, and then he couldn't be serious at all. And then she kind of said, like, I didn't like who I was with him, so on and so forth. And you can kind of see him realizing, like, oh, damn, I really fucked up. What do you think about that conversation?
Again, violation of trust and privacy.
Yeah,
But no, I mean, I thought that was probably the first time she'd ever been honest with him.
right,
Um, and you could say she never said that to him, but like, what was he ever? When was he ever an adult to receive that conversation? You know?
right.
And she probably did say it to him in so many ways.
In
These
certain
things,
ways,
yeah, like these things don't blow up like the movie. Like she came home and there was and she just a party and she screamed. Like she had been hinting at this for a long time.
right.
Um, and he just wasn't listening because he wanted to play with balloon animals or whatever he was doing at the time. And so I thought that conversation was quite poignant. It was movie magic. Um,
Yeah,
but I mean, clearly she still loved the guy. But he just was like she just needed a grown up, and he wasn't willing to
yeah.
provide
I think
that.
she loved him. I think she just stopped liking him, and
Yeah.
certainly respecting him, which is valid.
And once they stop respecting you, it's a wrap.
Yeah, it's over.
All right, let's
Um, yeah,
go
that's all I
ahead.
have for Act Two. Yeah, yeah, that's all I have for
Act
Act Two.
three, the unmasking and the resolution. The father's secret identity is finally exposed during a chaotic evening with his family and new friends. The family must then navigate a new reality following the fallout of the deception. Um, this is where I put my note. It's a good movie to watch as an adult versus a child because again, as a child, you're just rooting for Robin
Hmm.
Williams, and she's just like
Yeah.
Miranda's position as the villain of the movie. And as an adult, man, she was the only glue in this motherfucker. She was the only one. She was the only one playing it straight.
Yeah.
Like she was playing it straight in a fucking circus. And
Yeah.
so I feel for her being, the only straight character in an improv troupe where everyone else is just it's a traveling circus. So
Yeah.
um yeah. Anyways, what you got for Act Three?
Um, what was I gonna say? Yeah, so what did you this movie obviously a big focal point of the movie is the concept of co-parenting and kind of how people go about it. Um, what are your not what are your thoughts? I guess like so a lot of times I've seen where there are couples and maybe they break up or get divorced, whatever the case may be, and there's still a child involved, and one parent may do a intentionally or unintentionally do things that make it harder for the other parent to be in the kids' lives. Did
Yeah.
you feel like she was doing that to him? I mean, I know obviously he was a lackluster parent, but did you feel like she was impeding his ability to be a parent?
No. Um, maybe being the parent he wanted to be.
Hmm.
But she has to do what's best for the children as far as
Right.
getting them into this world as productive adults.
Yeah.
And that's not what that required was often misaligned with what he wanted for himself because it was always about
Hmm.
him. It was never about the children.
Right.
And so in making things difficult for him, she was actually doing the right thing for the children, even if in the moment in the
Right.
movie with Robert Williams as the protagonist, it felt like she was a bitch.
Yeah.
But um, yeah, I think she was doing things that made it difficult for him,
Hmm.
but I think it was the right decision to make because again, he wasn't making decisions for the children, he was making decisions for him. He liked
Yeah.
to say it was about his kids and he wants to spend time with his kids. He kept saying time with the kids, time with the kids. He never said what that time was because it was just
Yeah.
about him. The kids made him feel important because that was
Right.
all he had in this life. He's unemployed. He's getting divorced. He has nothing.
Yeah.
And so the kids are all he has. It's what he can lord over. They give him purpose.
Hmm.
But like that's about you. You know,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
not
yeah,
about these children that they need something else. They need more than to just make you feel like a man.
right.
And so, yeah, I do think she was putting up hurdles for him and making things difficult for him, but I don't think that that was necessarily a bad thing or bad for the children. Uh,
Okay. Even the just like the significant decrease in time you had with them, do you
was
think that was
spending
good for?
time
I
with
mean,
him good for the kids?
well, I was gonna say, I was gonna say that's about my next point. I guess. Damn, it's hard to say because I mean, children do need their father.
They need a good father.
Yeah.
I mean,
Um,
it's the old joke. Like the only thing worse than no dad is you being around.
yeah, that's true. That's true. That's a real thing. Okay, so okay, so
Children
let me
need
ask
a
you this
good
then.
father. They don't just need a warm male body.
Yeah, point taken. But how is he supposed to improve as a father if he's not able to father?
Well, what's the oldest was a teenager? I mean, she got a 15-year sample size. I'm gonna need more than this 4 month of you
Yeah.
learning how to cook a pot of spaghetti. I mean, obviously
Yeah.
people grow and people change or whatever. And at a certain age, the kids will get to decide. But
Right.
this isn't something that just sprung up on them. These kids
No,
are,
for sure.
I mean, these aren't, the youngest was probably 8 or 9 years old. So this is a
Oh,
large sample
I think she was
size.
5.
Um, I mean, the cold truth of it is the ship just might have sailed on him.
Yeah.
He might have just realized it's probably too late for him as far as like being a positive father figure and
Yeah.
shepherding them into adulthood. Now, as
Well,
an adult,
I'd say for the two oldest, yes.
yes.
The youngest, he still had time.
Now, as an adult, you can try to, reestablish and this, that, and the third. But how do you get
Right.
better without reps? I mean, I'm sure
Yeah.
she would say, "My kids aren't practice. This isn't batting practice.
Well,
It's not my problem. Like how you get better without
yeah,
reps is not my problem.
that's true.
Go. I'm not. You may get better, you may not, but my kids aren't your experiment. So
Right.
let me just say though, at the end, I hate that everything worked out for him. He got he stumbles into this great job, and it just everything works out for this guy because it's a movie. But
Well, but so yeah, well, I mean, but at the end of the movie, he had secured a good job.
yeah,
He had learned all the necessary skills to be a homemaker, which all adults should have.
yeah,
Um, so he was going to be able to be a better father to the kids. It seems like he got his shit together. Um, in real life, would it happen that quickly? Of course not. Getting shit together takes years, or if not your whole life. Um, but yeah, I will say though, the restaurant scene is one of my favorite scenes of all time.
yeah,
That
it's
the him
great.
going back and forth and changing the outfits and getting drunk and even when he's talking shit to Stu, where he's like making all those dick jokes or whatever,
Yeah.
like, oh, I know what you're trying to
Uh,
get.
Robin Williams, man, he's just one of one.
Once in a lifetime, man.
Um, I just looked it up, man. He's been gone 10 years now, 11 years
Yeah, it's
now.
fucking crazy, dude.
Uh,
Speaking of celebrity deaths, that's one that really got me. I think few celebrity deaths have ever really like made me cry. And I think I cried for that one. That one hurt. I love Robin Williams. He's in a lot of my favorite movies. Um, yeah, man.
R.I.P.,
It's just a
man.
shame. It's a shame that someone who brought so much joy and happiness and laughter to the world wasn't able to create some peace for himself. Um,
That's often the case, though, man. Comedians are
yeah,
miserable, generally
yeah, yeah.
speaking. It takes a lot of comedy comes from pain.
Hmm.
That's a pretty trite things to say. Everyone says that, but it's true. Say it's
Right.
common because it's
But
true.
yeah, so unfortunately, it's true. Yeah, that restaurant scene took 2 weeks to shoot.
Why is that?
Because remember, he's changing outfits as he runs back and forth, and they're doing a bunch of takes and multiple camera angles and all that stuff. Yeah, you'd be surprised some of the scenes that are hardest to shoot in movies. They look like the most simple scenes, but they actually take like a day or a week or two, to shoot sometimes.
With all those reshoot, like, so obviously neither of us are actors. We've never been on set, but I just feel like
Right.
all that improv. like you think we only see the ones that work, right? And
Right.
so like,
Yeah.
a lot of duds have to go into that. And
Oh yeah,
then
for sure. Of course, you got to float a lot of shit out there.
it's like, man, dude, we done this 60 times. Can you just play it straight? Like I know that I know because I mean obviously he's the star of the set and you're not gonna say
Right.
nothing. But I know one of them the dudes
Right.
is just like, all right, man, it's number
Like,
65. We
bro,
ain't
come
got
on.
it yet. We ain't got it
Yeah.
yet. Can we just say what's on the script? Like, let's just get out of
Yeah,
here.
there's a famous story. Clint Eastwood does not do a lot of takes with his movies when he's directing.
Yeah.
And there's a story I can't remember. I want to say it was maybe Matt Damon who did a movie with him. And he said, I was like, can I get another try? I want to do that again. And Clint Eastwood goes, so you just want to waste everybody's time?
Louis C.K. when he was filming Horace and Pete, cool little miniseries.
Okay.
There was one whole episode he did in one take. And he told the actors like we're not doing a second take, so if you
Yeah.
fuck up, it's on tape, so you're fucked. And
Yeah.
it was really good. It was pretty good. He was famous too for just like wanting to leave. He liked jumping without a parachute is what he called it.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
anything else for Act Three, man?
Um, no, I will say I really love the voiceover narration at the end when he
Yeah.
gets to Doubtfire, like kind of talking to kids, but with divorced parents or blended families with that always even as an adult it still hits.
Yeah.
And I just think that's some great writing and great voice work there by again one of the all-time greats.
Absolutely. I really do like this movie. I love this movie. It's just that
Yeah, I love this movie too.
my disdain for Robin Williams' character just oozes out of my pores. But I think
Yeah,
only a good movie could get that sort of visceral reaction out
emotion.
of people.
Yeah.
So, what do you rate it?
Um, yeah, fuck, I'm going 5 stars, bro. I
Yeah.
fucking love this movie. Robin Williams at the peak of his powers. Uh, it's a great comedy role. He also has a lot of dramatic scenes in this movie. And also he's just a testament to like where they say like, well, I believe that comedians a lot of times, if they're a great comedian, can make some of the best dramatic actors. And he went on to show that in Good Will Hunting and what was a movie called Awakenings with Robert De Niro.
Dead Poet
So
Society is on here
yeah,
too.
Dead Poet Society. Um, so yeah, he's just yeah, man. Uh, 5 stars, no notes. Would recommend every day of the week.
Yeah, listen, some things are their mythology. This movie
Hmm.
is its mythology. It's not hype, it's
Yes.
not nostalgia. It's a 5 out of 5 classic movie. Some things their reputation is just accurate. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. Like
Like
I literally watched this movie today while working, and I was dying laughing. Like I probably missed out on 10 cases today because I was just was laughing.
that's it, kids, man. Some things just are their mythology, and it's just true.
Yeah,
Like,
and
some
that's
stuff gets
okay.
hyped, some stuff is actually the real
Yeah.
though. So,
There's no Mythbusters on Robin Williams.
no, not at all. All right. Thanks for listening. My name is Darius. That's D's all up in your area on all socials.
And I'm Jordan. That's Jordan be writing on all socials.
Please rate, like, subscribe. We are at Out the Trunk Pod on all socials. That is Out the Trunk Pod on all socials.
And for any ongoing movie recommendations, reach out to us via email at outthetrunkpod@gmail.com. That's outthetrunkpod@gmail.com. That's a wrap. Thanks for coming to the movies with us. Be back next week. We're reviewing Take Me Home tonight. You guys
All right.
take